Welcome everyone, StealthyShiroean here, and today I'm bringing you my review of Horizon Chase Turbo. The Queers developed and published Horizon Chase Turbo, releasing it in May of 2018. For any of my humble choice viewers who have been long-term customers, then you'd find this game given in the December 2019's bundle. As you can see from the footage already, it is an arcade racing game focusing on simple, really fast-paced races. And while it might not be more than that, Horizon Chase Turbo offers a lot of fun for those in love with the gameplay. Presentation-wise, I don't mind the low-poly visuals. I guess I did wish some of the tracks were a bit more populated because they seemed a bit sparse. It was a tad jarring to see the nicely designed set-piece backgrounds in the distance, next to the foreground track with sparse decoration and flatlands as far as you could see. Although this was more of a problem with tracks in the beginning of the game, as many of them do look a lot better later on in the campaign. Also, I do understand that this was an intentional design choice since old arcade racing games of the 90s heavily inspired Horizon Chase Turbo. That said, I did like how each area was visually distinct, and there were plenty of different areas and tracks as well as a large variety of car models to keep things interesting. I also was a big fan of the music in the game that had an arcade-sounding synthwave vibe to the tracks. Typical of something back in the day, and actually the music was composed by a veteran in the industry, Barry Leach, who created music for other classic arcade racers. There's no real story or theme here at all besides racing and getting first place. There are tournament modes and the campaign, but it's all just for the races. As our own Steam page says, it's a straight-to-the-point classic racing game. And that brings us to the gameplay, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a simple enough racing game. You have a button to accelerate, brake, use nitro, and move left and right between obstacles, namely other cars. But that's pretty much it. There's a bit more nuance to it than just that, with different stats for the vehicles, but they wanted to make sure this would be something that wasn't going to be overly complicated. I think much of the difficulty comes with learning when to push forward or when to back off when making turns or getting behind a big bunch of cars. Nitro usage is also very important because sometimes that will be what makes or break the race. The other part of the difficulty, and the enjoyment, comes from learning the tracks. To master many of these tracks will require multiple tries in order to get the gold and collect the tokens for 100% mastery. To any interested, there are also leaderboards with fastest times to complete the races, but that wasn't anything for me. While many of these locations might have similar visuals, they all sport different tracks with various obstacles, whether debris in the road, tons of sharp turns, or even weather elements and time of day changes. The racing here felt very fast, and much of the road isn't always revealed ahead of you, so players need to react quickly as they blast their way down each track. Many times I found myself wondering how I managed to pull off a crazy set of turns or maneuvers through several cars. The sense of satisfaction this game gives for pulling off seemingly impossible stuff, to me anyway, is really rewarding. I mainly played the campaign, completing it one time through, and then I went back to get the gold on every track. In the campaign, there are various races scattered throughout that offer a chance to gain a passive stat upgrade. These greatly help a car, especially when returning to get gold on the previously played tracks. I'd say the difficulty here was decent, with only a few that really gave me a hard time. For the real completionists, you can attempt to get super trophies that require getting gold as well as collecting all the coins on a track. I wasn't that ambitious though. There are a few other modes which I tried them all but didn't get very far in. Although I did complete the amateur and professional tournaments, which are a set of 4 races apiece. The adventure modes are tracks that have unique modifiers for the car chosen. These unlock special skins, but I found them to be really challenging. Finally, there's the endurance mode that is unlocked after beating the campaign, and it really is an endurance mode. The first one has you complete 12 races, with the next being 36, and the final one being all 100 and something races. I completed the short endurance, but I definitely didn't have the patience or dedication to sit down for that many races. But that being said, there's a lot here for those who really enjoy the game. And that brings us to the value of the game. The game runs at $19.99 USD for normal retail price, and I put about 21 hours into it. Normally, I wouldn't be buying a racing game for myself, and since I got it from a Humble Bundle, the price was, of course, a lot lower. For me, I really like this simple racing game, and it brought me a lot of enjoyment for what it is, but that might be because it was a simple game, and I'm not much of a fan of the racing genre. Ultimately, despite my time with it, I would still say get this on a sale. It regularly goes on sale throughout the year, so if this is something you're eyeing, then definitely pick it up. For all others, I'm not sure if racing enthusiasts would be happy with what's on offer for the asking price, and for those who aren't racing fans, then they might feel they spent too much money. Then again, I could be completely wrong since the game is standing with an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam. But as stated earlier, there is a lot of bang for your buck if you do happen to enjoy this game. And those are my thoughts on Horizon Chase Turbo. If you played the game, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't, then let me know if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, or if you have any other questions. I hope this video helped you in some small way, and if it did, then please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, or whatever it is you feel like doing. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.